Las Vegas Sportsline is owned and produced by Vegas Sportsline, LLC. All opinions expressed by the hosts or guests are their own and are not endorsed by either radio station management or any of its advertisers.
It's time for the Las Vegas Sportsline. Brought to you by the Golden Nugget with sports director Tony Miller.
Money won is twice as sweet as money earned.
Presented by WagerTalk.com.
And we are off and running on the Friday Super Bowl edition of the Las Vegas Sportsline. I'm Dave Kochen. Teddy Covers us here. We've got Jared Justice producing the show. Tony Miller will be with us in a little while. Matt Youmans will be with us in the second half of the show. And John Lyons is here from Lyons Physical Therapy. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, Dave. Thanks for having me in. Everything's good.
Always a pleasure. You are definitely a sports guy. So I wanted to get your take on what you think is going to happen in the Super Bowl. We'll talk a little bit about Lyons Physical Therapy as well. Let's talk big game first.
Sure. I think this is going to be a fantastic game. You have two evenly matched teams. It's from watching all these years, it's really hard to bet against and go against Brady and Belichick at this point. I think the best chance the Rams have is to utilize that defensive line to get some pressure on Brady and make him feel a little uncomfortable back there.
And that's a tough task in itself because basically, and obviously they're better equipped to do that than Kansas City, but he didn't even get his uniform dirty in the Chiefs game.
Right, and he gets rid of the ball so quickly and he's so accurate that it's just it's a tough task.
Yeah, one would think that L.A. will come with a different mindset than Bob Sutton, who rushed 3 all afternoon and got fired after the game. So, that's...
You mean it didn't work?
You think?
Did you, look, it's just amazing. We talked with Jason Simble yesterday, and not revenue, but number of tickets. It's like 80% of the tickets are now on props. And the revenue in some locations is probably going to be as high as 60%, which is absolutely extraordinary. Yeah, the Westgate could be doing that much.
Good.
Because they do so many props, and they make, a very big deal out of it. So have you, John, did you get into the props at all?
I did. I looked at a couple props and sides that I might like. I kind of like under 28 in the first half. I saw a... I know, that's gone, but earlier in the week it was there.
Sure, no doubt.
And I did see a Gronkowski over 3.5 catches, which with some high juice on there, but that's one I kind of liked. And I also did see more points scored in the second half versus the first half at minus half a point, which I really liked.
That makes sense to me too. I think it's going to be a lot of sparring early, and then they start throwing the big punches after halftime.
Yeah, traditionally that's what you see in the Super Bowl, at least what I can recall.
We're all in agreement on this one.
I'll throw a couple of props at you that I like.
Sure.
And you can give me your response. I like, and I think this one is a sharp prop, if you will. Under 1.5 yards for shortest touchdown. And part of the reason for that is, assuming that we don't have the same crew working the game as was in the Rams-Saints game, there's going to be a pass interference in the end zone at some point, and that's going to be a 1st and goal at the 1.
True. That's actually a very good point because they're going to overcompensate and be on the lookout for that.
I think so.
That's human nature. Yeah, I could see that. And
Rich Velez mentioned this yesterday, and I like this prop, and I played it. Gronk over yards receiving, I think it's 55, and I like the over on that. I think this is his last game, and actually, he's kind of a good matchup against this particular defense.
Yeah, I agree, and what I've seen over the years and in these big games, that's Brady's go-to guy. In those situations, he's such a big target, such a big guy, and once he gets moving, it's hard to get him down.
And when you think about what happened in New England's last game, in overtime, facing 3rd and 10, 3 times Brady had 3rd and 10. He hit Edelman, twice, and Gronk once. That's the 2 guys he's going to look for this Sunday as well, you would expect.
All right, so who wins?
Yeah, we need a score.
I can't go against Brady and Belichick. I think New England by 3 to 4. I haven't bet the game, but that would be my guess.
Are you going to bet the game?
No.
Really, if it's a regular season game, I'm not betting it.
No, it would be a game I'd be forced to bet. I'm not going to bet it.
But you're going to throw a few props out there?
Few props and some sides, maybe.
All right. Let's talk a little Lions.
Hang on, you're just going to let that go? It's the Super Bowl.
Well, so
you got to
what?
get
That's a smart
something
better.
on it.
Why?
Gun to my head.
Because this is why. Because it literally is. We're the only country in the world that has this that I know of. This is our national betting holiday. It's a legitimate betting holiday.
First 2 days of the NCAA tournament.
But this is more because this is the props, and it's just one day. It's betting, even if it's $20, you know.
All right, there it is, John. You have to bet the game. Teddy Cover said so.
Everybody's, but I'm saying you're like, yeah, I'm just going to watch. I'm not going to have it. I'll watch the prop. I'm just giving you grief, obviously, but it's
obviously, fun. I'll find a 2.5, and I'll take New England and lay the 2.5.
There it is.
Actually, you'll be able to lay less than that.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps saying that, but I haven't seen it yet.
I know that somebody just bet $1.5 million at William Hill on the Rams.
Okay.
So, just came across. No, I think it's possible there might be a 2. By the half point. Today, who cares?
Somebody did that. There was a tweet on it. That someone
really?
on a big, on like a bet of $100,000. Someone bought the 2.5 down to 2.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Not to me.
Yeah. To each their own.
Buy it up, okay, I get it. Buy it down, not. It's still.
Well, you think it's going to be a
you know what's going to
close game,
happen? The game will land on 2, and the guy will look like a genius.
Sure. I mean, it's the moral equivalent of the money line. Instead of laying -1, what is it, -145? But now if the Pats win by 1, that's your death number. You know, because
that's the ideal result for the book. The Patriots by 1, and you will see bookmakers literally dancing on top of their cars. Okay, and there'll be brand new cars too. So let's talk a little bit about LPT because let me throw this as a personal question. What can one do about age-related aches and pains that are just kind of natural?
Well, Dave, that's a common thing we run into.
I'll bet.
A lot of our patients are...
That's the problem, John. You run into it. I kind of limp into it myself.
The quick answer to that is the most important thing from a medical standpoint when you start getting age-related aches and pains is to keep moving. Because... Yeah. Most people tend to say, well, my back hurts, my shoulder hurts, I'm going to lay down, rest, and it's going to go away. Well, if you do that for a prolonged period of time, you're going to get more stiffness and more pain. So the best thing you can do is stay active and then seek a medical professional's help to put you on the right stretching and strengthening program, which will make a big difference in your pain levels.
Now, this does make perfect sense, by the way, because I have determined that the part of my body that's in the best shape...
I don't want to hear it.
I have a tendency... to when I get upset with something in a game, my left arm is the one that slams onto a table. My left arm's in fantastic shape. It's in great condition. The rest of my body, not so much.
Yeah.
Well, you must have had some bad picks recently that caused a lot of slamming of that arm.
John, it's even in the good picks.
Yeah.
Unless I'm ahead by like 40, anything bad, it's like as if I could be ahead by 25 points, the other team, it's a 3-pointer. It's like, damn it, you know.
Yeah, that's why you're blaming the left arm for being so strong. Keep spinning that narrative, Dave.
Next.
So let me ask you this. I've been lucky in many ways in my life, but I've been really lucky that I've never been in a serious car accident or anything other than a fender bender. If I was and there's an injury, what would I do?
Yeah, it's a scary situation if you've never been through that. The first and most important thing is if you're seriously injured and it's something more than a little 5-mile-an-hour little fender bender, is you should call the authorities, call the police to get them there because you don't know what type of injuries you're dealing with. And then once you realize what you're dealing with, you want to seek medical attention as soon as possible, whether that be going to an urgent care, an emergency room, or seeking care from a provider you already are familiar with. That way you can get assessed, figure out what type of testing needs to be done, and get pointed in the right direction to start the healing process. What
about from a legal standpoint as far as, lawyering in terms of getting that stuff set up?
Honestly, it's the most important thing is to get the medical part taken care of first to make sure there's no serious injuries. Any good personal injury attorney would tell you that as well. And then it is a good idea to get an attorney involved in these situations because otherwise these insurance companies out there are going to try to take advantage of you and try to limit your medical treatment and then in the end of things limit the settlement they provide to you. So it is in your best interest to speak with an attorney after you seek the appropriate medical care.
You guys are frequently posting stuff on Twitter regarding treatments and new deals that are going on. So we urge people to follow you on Twitter, and you can give out the Twitter address.
Yeah, Twitter is at LionsPTLV.
Right, and we were just talking about this before the show started. You got something brand new that you're getting involved in as far as the healthcare industry is concerned.
Yes, yeah, Dave. Thanks for bringing that up. We in the latter part of last year of 2018, we branched into some home health services. The branch of the company is Lyons Home Care, where we're going out to patients' homes and providing home care involving nursing and physical therapy. Typically, we're doing this after big surgeries, back surgeries, knee, shoulder surgeries. So that's a new venture that we're getting into, and we're having a lot of good feedback from other medical providers.
I would think, because, even if people are able to get to the facility, they might be a lot more comfortable doing the therapy in their own home.
Yeah, and we're seeing these people that within 48 hours after they're discharged from the hospital, so they're not really appropriate to get into a clinic at that point. So we start the rehab process where we get them moving, get the blood flowing a little bit, and just get them more comfortable in their home setting before they're ready to transition to an outpatient practice. If
you have questions, follow John on Twitter at LionsPTLV. Call the office. I mean, it doesn't cost anything to call the office.
No, and my staff is great, and they'll be happy to answer any questions you have. You can always call us at 702-476-0222.
And I will see you on Sunday, I assume.
Yeah, we'll be probably watching the game in the same place.
We have a private party invite, and sounds like it's going to be some real good food and a lot of New England people around.
That's what I hear. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, John. Good to see you, man.
Thank you.
All right, Teddy. What are you doing for the Super Bowl, Teddy? Are you going to? Now I know there's meet and greets taking place this weekend that you'll probably be attending.
Yeah. But the game itself is also a private party situation for me, so it should be a lot of fun. I mean, I don't want to go out too much out and about on Super Bowl Sunday. At the same time, I'm not planning on live betting this game in any serious way. If you see something, hey, maybe. You're
gonna have your phone with you anyway.
Of course, but it's not one of these games that you're watching that you watch like a hawk to live bet. It's a game you watch like a hawk because you're counting props.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, what do I want to do here? I think let's get Tony up. Do we have Tony up yet? Okay, we're gonna get Tony Miller from the Golden Nugget, and we'll see what's happening in downtown Las Vegas. Should be a boomer of a weekend down there. We are skipping the 4 at 4 today, by the way. Because there's very little going on tonight. You got some NBA, some NHL. We will cover the Golden Knights game in the Marquee matchup. We're certainly not getting through the show without that. But we decided to skip the basketball today and mainly focus on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's a Super Bowl weekend, so.
Yeah, I mean, this is, and you're right. It is a national betting holiday because it's unlike any other event. I mean, I know the money's really pour in on the first 2 days of March Madness and, in fact, through the NCAA tournament, but there's nothing to match one day for just an international event, or a national event, I should say, than the Super Bowl. It's the biggest thing there is.
Well, if you're talking bucket list stuff, for people that aren't in Las Vegas, I would put coming to Vegas for March Madness ahead of the Super Bowl because it's 4 days of insanity.
Sure. Yeah.
And then obviously when you look at the handle number, I mean, what are the handle was?
It blows up. The record just gets blown up every year, and it will.
Well,
it's going to be even bigger than ever this year.
The numbers last year were about 150 million on the Super Bowl and 350 million on the first 4 days of March Madness. I mean, it wasn't even close. It was more than 2-1.
I would not be surprised if it's 500 this year.
Yeah. Sharp money's always on the over.
I think I would be surprised if it's not 500 this year.
Really?
Yeah.
There's only so many hotel rooms.
It doesn't matter. The event just keeps getting bigger and more people online with the apps, even visitors to Las Vegas or to the state of Nevada, because they know that they can go to whatever hotel they're at. You can deposit your money, use the app for the weekend, and then just go get your money when you're ready to leave. It's a cinch. Nothing yet with Tony.
Efforting.
Yes, we are efforting. All right. How many props will you be involved in yourself? And are you going to look? Obviously, you're going to play something on the game, but in terms of treating
I'm already down. I've made my bet on the game.
Okay, normal size wager, or is it this?
A half unit wager. It is not a game that I feel strongly about.
That's where I'm going to be. I'm going to take about 2 normal betting units and divide them among side, and a few props.